Hello everyone, Lisa Thomas from BNI, Executive Director of BNI Melbourne North. Today we are doing our Network Success Northside Notables podcast. And the reason that we do this podcast is because a lot of the time as business owners, we look to international people or other people around the world that are external to us or that we think, perhaps better than us or doing fantastic things. But there's a lot of great people in our local area. And today we have Priyanka from Cocoa Oven with us to talk about her business. Priyanka, just tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to do what you're doing now and share with us about that.
Sure. Thanks, Lisa. First, I'd like to say thank you for this opportunity. It's not something I'm really used to doing on a regular basis. So my business is cakes and bakes, I'd say, but I identify as a cake artist, mostly. And how I got into this is a very long story, but to cut it short, it's being in the creative sphere is kind of in my blood, and that's what I enjoy doing the most. I actually have a background in architecture.
Oh, wow.
I did a degree in architecture, and I used to work as an interior designer. I did my education in India. I am originally from India, so I grew up there, did my education, worked there for quite a few years, and then I moved out to the Middle East. So I worked as a designer in Dubai and Doha as well.
Oh, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, very fascinating. It was a whole different world moving from India to there. And then at some point there, I met my husband, and eventually, after some time, we landed in Australia in 2015. After that, it's a story of a migrant. A lot of, I'm sure there'll be people who have moved their lives watching this. And initially, it's not very easy when you're new and you don't have your support circle as such. So I did start working as an interior designer here as well, and I did that for about 2 years. But somewhere there was this itch to be able to utilize my creative abilities a bit more than I had the opportunity to in those jobs. Yeah, and one thing led to the other. And the only other thing that I am equally passionate about as design is food and baking. I have to thank my mother for that, I guess. And eventually it led to the passion for creativity, for design and food together. It culminated in Cocoa Oven in 2019, end of 2019. Yeah.
Oh, so just before COVID?
Yes, just before COVID. If I knew what was coming my way, probably I might not have done that.
Yes.
I would have stuck to my day job.
Yes.
Yes. So I started before COVID, and COVID hit us in March. I remember that was when my business had just started seeing some traction.
Yes.
I remember I had done one market, and the day the lockdowns were announced, that weekend was my second market to be. So yeah, that's how it started. And at that point, I even remember thinking, maybe this, how long would this COVID thing go? Maybe a couple of weeks, or maybe a couple of months. Maybe I'll just take a break for now.
Yes.
But yeah, I didn't take a break. It just kept going. Someone wise really told me, no, honey, that's not going to happen. That's not happening. This is bigger than 2 months. And thank God I took that advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us, is there small business owners in your family, or is this something that's totally outside the square for you?
No, that's interesting. Yeah. So I actually come from a business family. My dad's side of the family is a completely a small business family. I grew up, no wonder I eventually got into it. when I think about it. So my grandfather, my father, my uncle, a lot of my cousins, and my siblings, with three of us, we're all in business now.
Wow.
But we grew up in a business family.
Yes.
My mom still runs my dad's business, actually.
Yep.
But having said that, my parents always wanted all three of us to get into professional courses and professional careers.
Yes.
But eventually we all got into business.
Business.
So,
Yep. So you had
yeah.
good role models then, as far as
Yes.
business are concerned.
Yeah, we didn't see, probably didn't understand it, but now when I think back, yes, for
Yep.
sure.
Yep.
We grew up seeing the struggles, the ups and downs of business.
Yep. So tell us about Cocoa Oven. Tell us about what is, your products. So obviously
Yeah.
you have products for people, but what's your passion about that? Because you said the reason that you started this business was because you wanted to utilize that creativity.
Yes.
So how does that come out in what you do?
So the business itself has changed directions quite a bit. I started off doing only chocolates and brownies. So it was more of a baker and chocolatier kind of thing. And I was doing a lot of gift boxes and stuff. But my true passion, I think, has always been in cakes. And I started doing that, I think, around end of 2022, 2023 is when I started. And so now it's all about cakes, do custom cakes. And I think my background in like having a structured approach to design helps quite a bit in that, in standing out in a way. The other thing that I truly enjoy doing is teaching.
Yes.
I started doing workshops in 2023, towards the end of 2023. And I started with cupcake decorating workshops. Had a certain goal in mind for last year, and I'm very happy to say that I could achieve that. So I do cupcake workshops. I organize my own workshops, public workshops where, tickets are out and people come in to do that. But I'm also booked for a lot of different private occasions, hence parties, birthdays, etc., corporate events, team building exercises, and that sort of thing. So if you look at it, mainly there are two services or two directions of the business. One is the custom cakes, cupcakes, the catering and events side of things, and the other is the workshops.
And how do you, because you said that whole creative piece is really important to you, but how do you actually marry that with running a business? Because sometimes when you talk to creatives, that you can see just by talking to them and seeing what they do, you see that creativity. But then we're all business people, so we need to be doing the business side of things as well.
Yes.
So how do you marry those two?
I think that would be one of my biggest struggles for sure. But I've got a lot better at it. And in a lot of ways, I think I have BNI to thank for it as well. Just having access to businesses from all spheres of, I would say, the economic cycle helps, and having the comfort to be able to bounce ideas off each other and take guidance from other business owners helps a lot. I've also, obviously now it's been 5.5 years since I started. So those experiences help. The other thing, I think, even when I was employed, when I was working as an interior designer, I've never worked in very large corporates. I've only worked in smaller businesses as myself. Like maybe at the max, I've worked in organizations which have had 10 employees at the max. And that might include workers at the factory level or something. So I've because it's been smaller organizations, I've also had the opportunity to be have client facing roles and take on bigger roles and be more involved in others' businesses. So that had some a little bit of I would say that was a good learning for me in terms of work experience, not
Yes.
just in design, but I
But
was also being involved in
the
business
sales,
discussions,
and sales
sales and
and all of
client
that sort of thing.
interactions
Yep.
and how to maintain customer service, which is I think is a big part. And yeah.
If you were going to give some advice to somebody that had a creative passion, but perhaps was a little bit frightened to be going out on their own or starting their own business,
Yeah.
or they've just started, what sort of things would you, what wisdom would you impart, Priyanka, to these people about from
Uh,
your journey?
I think two main things. One is try and get out of your comfort zone of creating and go and meet people who are not necessarily in your industry or doing the same things. It is good to network within the industry as well, but it is also important to go and meet other people and see and learn and find your people. You
Yes.
know, it's very intimidating to be out networking and to be meeting people outside of your comfort zone initially. I have gone through it myself, but it's very beneficial. That's it. You have to be able to um, get to a community, surround yourself with people who you can learn from, who will cheer you on, and who you can also help. Um, and when you do that, try not to go with the mentality of only trying to sell your
Yes.
products or services.
Yeah.
Um, Having the attitude of how you can help someone else always helps. And that's one advice. The other thing I would say is know your numbers.
Yes.
It's so important and something that creatives are challenged with all the time.
Yes.
I still find it challenging.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm on top of it, but I think I've learned a few tricks
Yep.
in my 5.5 years. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I would have no idea how to cost a cake or anything
It's
like
not
that.
easy.
It's a totally different
Yeah.
aspect of a
Correct. Yeah.
business.
I
Yeah.
think invest in courses, invest in programs where you can learn the other aspects of business.
Yep. So what sort of process do you go through with if somebody says, "Oh, we're having a special event. I want
Yeah.
a cake. I don't really know what I want. What would you recommend?" How do you actually go through that process with somebody?
Yes. My favorite customers are people who say, I don't know what I need. I
Yes.
just have a theme,
Yes.
or I want a cake for my husband and he likes red and black. Like
Yep.
vague things. They're challenging, but I absolutely love them. I when The main process is I prefer people to fill up an inquiry form, which is there on my website, and there are some questions there that give them that guidance of of the brief that I need. And if I find that it's not enough, I will then reach out to have another discussion with
Yep.
whether it's through email or calls, whatever they prefer, and get what is there in their head out first.
Mm.
And sometimes I make up a mood board. Sometimes it could be just a few images, not a full-fledged mood board. I send it out to them, and then we move on to uh, if we both are aligned in a direction, then I'll give them a budget, a costing, and then the actual design, what goes out. Yeah,
Okay.
and I also send them the menu and along with the pricing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I would imagine you'd either have the people that, yeah, this is exactly what I want. They
Yes.
have an idea, or there's people like, oh, I don't really mind. I just need a cake. We're having a celebration,
Correct. Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, social media would also be a big part of what you do, because
Huge.
how do you get, people to see your work?
Yeah.
You have events, and of course you're doing specific events for people. So how do you manage that social media part of your business, knowing that it's such a key to returning business and new business for yourself?
I pretty much film my whole life. Not true, not my whole life, but I film a lot of content all the time. I'm not looking at making it polished or anything. Whatever I'm doing, um, I just keep filming things. But what I also do is on a monthly basis, I sit down and work out a content strategy, and I with the goals of what I want to be talking about. I try not to be doing salesy posts all the time. Um, have a balance. People love watching behind the scenes things.
Yes.
Um, testimonials helps with the credibility, and yeah. So I work out this strategy on a weekly basis. Um, see what my content bank has and what I can make it look like, and spend some time around. So yeah, it's a constant grind. It's
Yep.
going on. Um, but again, I think I've learned all this by actually taking courses and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of, um, I would say, investment in learning. That's how I guess people can get better. I never stop learning. I don't think anyone should stop learning. So social media is also something that I have invested in learning over the time. Yeah. And the feedback I get from a lot of people, a lot of my customers, is that seeing those posts, seeing what I put out, actually helps them in trusting me.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't shy away from showing up on my social media platforms.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just about connecting with people. I think the real people to people connection is important.
Yep. So do you have to have a special kitchen to do what you do? What's
No, you
the
don't need.
practicalities of it?
So in Australia and in a lot of other countries as well, but in Australia we need permits.
Mhm.
We need a permit from the local council. So there are certain guidelines, but you don't necessarily need a commercial kitchen or a separate kitchen. There are also grades in terms of licensing. But for what I do, I'm fine with my home kitchen. I do have a separate, because that's purely out of space requirements. I do have a separate area for my prep and everything. And now it's an annual inspection that the council does. So the health officers come and
Yes.
do a check, on hygiene and certain practices that we have to do in terms of maintaining fridge temperatures, etc., that sort of thing. So, but the best, if someone wants to get into this, I would say the best option would be to get in touch with your local council, because the health officers are going to guide you on what you need to do.
Yep. Okay. All right. So thank you very much. We like to end our podcast with, usually, is there a business book or a podcast or something that you would recommend to the people that are listening, or something that's impacted you from a business perspective that, really has made a difference?
Quite a few. Reading has been quite a part of my life since a kid. Not in business, but I think the Enid Blyton books have had a huge influence on me to move in this direction.
Yes.
So I was a big fan as a kid. But now, in recent times, I would say a couple of books. Atomic Habits has had very good influence in my life. And another book that I read very early on in my business, and I'm reading again, is called The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber.
Yes.
Yeah, so those two books, I would say.
Yes.
terms
Just
of-
as a side note, we had him
Yeah.
as a guest speaker at one of our national
Ah,
conferences for BNI,
fabulous.
and
Yeah.
it was during COVID, and so I got to sit in the Zoom room with him until he went on. So I
Yeah.
actually had a really great conversation. Lovely
Oh,
man with
yeah. I'm
yeah.
just starting to read it again because that was a very different stage in my
Yes.
business, and I've grown. The business has changed, so yeah.
Yeah,
just
very
took it.
passionate about small business owners
Yes.
and how processes and things can make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, so that's great. Well, thank you very much, Priyanka, for being
Thank
with us
you.
today. If you'd like to share with us your social media handles or your Instagram or
Yeah.
whatever, just tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah, fabulous. So my business is Cocoa Oven. That's COCOAOVEN. You can find me on almost all socials, but Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. It's cocoa.oven, cocoa.oven. And there's also my website, www.cocooven.com.au. So it's got my inquiry forms. I also have an online shop for ready-to-order things. And that's where you'll find me online.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you, Lisa.